Astosh and Surya. So my name is Govardhan. I have this procurement modules exposure in SAP, especially from I'm working in this field from last 7 years, 7.5 years. Basically I was in consulting and working in SRM from last 5 years, worked in 4.0, 5.0 and right now in 7.0 versions of SRM.
Okay.
Coming to I worked in materials management for 4.7e version and thereafter 6.0 and anyway enhancement packs are going on now, right? So right now the system where I am working is enhancement pack 6 level.
Oh, I did not know that PHP 6 is coming.
Oh, is it? So this is about basically my background. So I'll tell a bit more details once I introduce, once I know about you guys' background. So just, Ashutosh, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Ashutosh Sharma, and my SAP functional experience is 13 years in MM, and I have worked on the inventory part as such also, which I know is a part of MM, but there are some places where they divide this functionality because MM they consider as only purchasing. So I worked on all the processes in MM. I have worked on the delivery processes also.
Okay.
I worked on all the integration aspects, so I'm pretty comfortable that way in MM. I worked also in the travel management of HR.
So you're all-rounder, almost four SAP modules.
Not SAP model, but I know a lot of things in SAP which probably I should be knowing with this experience. So that way I don't have a challenge in understanding the basic processes of MM. So that way I'm comfortable. So I'm looking more actually at the SRM part, or in this particular training, I want to look more at the SRM functional and the technical aspects of it.
Okay. Okay, that's good. That have you got any exposure to SD and FICO as well?
If you're asking me, in SD also, yes. I mean, order processing and then delivery processing may not be too much in billing, but yes, I can troubleshoot the problems and I can do a debugging and I can manage it.
Okay. What about warehouse management?
Warehouse management, yes, I have worked on, but that was a long time back. I worked on SAP console way back in 2000, probably 6. After that, I have worked in one implementation also of warehouse management. I have done a lot of developments and done some support project for the warehouse management.
Okay. So you're much senior to all of us then. Okay.
No.
Especially in the core modules of SAP. Okay. It's good. So yeah, we'll discuss further stores. Then Surya, could you please introduce yourself? Surya?
Hello?
Yeah, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, actually, I work as an consultant here. Presently, I'm not working, so I want to change my class to SRM. That's why I'm here.
Okay. That's fine. Ashutosh and Surya, see, coming to my exposure in the materials management is I worked concentratedly in materials management the beginning of my career for about 3 years, and thereafter when I entered into SRM. But anyway, Ashutosh, you might be aware the SRM always will be linked with MM functionality, so we need to work on both the modules, not an individual area. But core concentration is on SRM. I also worked in warehouse management in one application support project as well as one implementation. So that's all about the process. I know the experience and exposure to the various modules of SAP which I have. Warehouse management and with configuration part of MM and FI integration area, that OBYC settings and all, where it is a common area where MM consultants should know. So I have exposure in that area as well.
Okay.
Coming to SRM I worked in classic scenario. It was long before. It was in 4.0 version. and from 5.4 version onwards I was working in SRM extremely classic scenario and decoupled scenario. Okay, so I'll explain you what are the scenarios, and these are all the contents of our actual syllabus.
Yeah, before that, Govan, my just one question was, or rather one clarification from my side was that I have a good experience of SRM behind me, but at this moment I'm more on leading on project as working more as a project lead and a project manager. But still, I would like to dirty my hands in SAP SRM in configuration. Or in trying to understand the technical aspects of it, more on the architecture, because with this web development things coming up, things are changing. So I was referring to your demo also, which Naveen was kind enough to send it to me. I went through the entire probably 90-minute session where you were at the time end of the demo you were talking about the web info part.
Web info part, okay. Yeah. The field creation and all, that's what you're talking, right? The new field creation in the shopping cart screen and all the stuff. The structure amendments. Yeah,
that's correct. Now that basic, and then I think one of the attendees also raised a question saying that right now there are requirements coming out in SAP SRM where probably you should know something of technical and functional and all that. So it did not scare me a bit, but yes, I was a bit concerned because I'm entirely a functional guy. It is not that I cannot go into SCAC and create packages and all that, but I don't want to do that.
See, Ashutosh and Ravi, both of you, sorry, Surya. See, basically the question is from Ashutosh, I agree. See, people will look for a consultant who has got a little technical expertise, Ashutosh. I can see the market even here in UK as well. So when you are going with an SRM requirements, the requirement people will say that, SRM technical expertise, even including SRM functional and techno-functional, people will say. But, to be frank, no one will expect, a complete development skills from you in the SRM or any core modules when you are a functional consultant. Even in SRM, you got SRM 7 has given some flexibility. The functional consultant can involve to an extent where he can do a configuration for the workflows, and he can do a configuration for the web info screens, like enhancements to the existing fields, or maybe adding in new fields to the various procurement documents and all. It is given some kind of wide range of feasible options, so that a functional guy can handle, even though it is the responsibility of a technical guy. So it is to the level where we can understand, where we can do something in the technical aspect, but it is not a mandatory thing that you have to know all the technical part of the function SAP SRM.
Yeah, that's fine. Means it's not that it's a huge problem as such. I was just trying to understand, like, what is that boundary beyond which a functional person may not go. Means there are people who, like, I'm not sure about whether you have a functional background or not. That was another question. So your experience is more on the functional side or on the technical side?
See, to be frank, my experience is completely, I'm a functional consultant, okay? But where, since I'm working in this SRM area from last 5 years, so I got an exposure where I can find out the issues technically, where we can go into the table level, structure level changes, and bit kind of debugging a program to identify the issues. Only that level of exposure I have.
Oh, that's fine. Means I'll expect a functional at least to know what is an SCC in transaction.
Especially nowadays, even though we have workflow consultants for the previous versions of SAP, okay, and SRM 7 has given some kind of flexibility where the functional can do kind of configuration. So that is also important. Still organizations are using the workflow consultants or maybe technical guy to do the workflow part. Still, we should be able to understand what is happening and what configurations we can do if any workflow got stuck with some technical issues. How to identify, how to find out the issue, and all we should know basically. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, workflow actually was earlier a very specialized area where workflow consultants, we were always they always used to work in that particular area, right? But now it seems that with SRM, as you are saying, the workflow has come on the configuration part, where the functional consultant is supposed to at least know the issue and then transition. At least. So that I agree. Yeah. So there is not much of a demarcation now left between a functional and technical, and that's why these techno-functional people are more in the demand.
Yeah. The second thing is like, you know, the person who has got an MM exposure like you or even my background, and I think Surya is also is working as MM consultant. I think worked as MM consultant. Really, when you have an MM experience like, you know, MM exposure, completely that will be more you know, fetching point for any functional guy who needs to get into the SRM. Otherwise, you know, if a fresh person who doesn't know anything about the material management functionality and all the stuff, if they try to learn SRM, yeah, because SRM is a limited time, you can learn SRM, but still you will be end up with some kind of, you know, uncertainty. You don't know what is happening behind the screen when integrated with the MM. Okay. So really, that is not something, you know, good thing that people can get into the SRM without having a MM background. Okay. So it is always a fetching when you have MM knowledge. So that's what my view. Coming to SRM core areas, so all the functionalities, whatever we can handle from the materials management, there is a lot of background noise, Astos and Surya, I don't know.
Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go on mute and then say whether it is coming from my side or not.
Yeah. Hello? I think it is fine, Astos, now slightly better. So I assume maybe the background noise is from your end, I think. Huh? No, there is something else also, I think. Not only, still I can hear some background voice.
There is a lot of echo.
That's what I wondered. Normally regular classes I never observed such kind of echo. Fine, anyway, we'll continue for demo part, so we can sort out later when we go to the actual sessions. Okay. So I'll show the what is that server part. So luckily, especially for the training programs, the main hurdle is like having a proper server. Okay. So that was even I faced in the previous versions, and people contacted me for take the sessions and all. We used to struggle a lot to get the server access, and even if you have the server, it won't work fully or some or other issues. Okay. So then this time the server, whatever the SAP solutions got, is a good one, to be frank. But there are some issues in the server, very few, but core content can be managed through the existing server. So it is allowing for the almost all the scenarios. Sometimes if you are running with some creation process, if any errors and all, but at least I'm able to manage to show the content and take you through the whole cycle of the process. So that is good. Actually, we have that option. Server wise, you don't have to worry. Even I surprised by seeing the MDM clients also, because I started MDM part for the students, the current students. Which is going to finish probably by tomorrow. There are 2 more sessions which are pending, today one and tomorrow one. So MDM also I'm able to manage that console and data manager and import manager, all the stuff. Normally I know the SRM MDM when you are taking the sessions, people will manage through slides and all. But still I'm able to show the actual MDM server, how it behaves and how it can be managed. Okay. So even yeah.
More than just one question on this slide.
Yeah.
It means nothing to do with the content. The date part, is it DDMM11 or MMDD11?
Which one?
No, I'm saying the date you have written 03.12.2011.
Hey, I'm sorry, this is probably I have taken the slide, old slide, okay, and that slide has got the old date. The contents I have modified just now, okay.
Okay, that's fine. That's okay. No, but whenever you say a date here, it is DDMMYY, right? The UK format or?
Date, month and year, right? So this is 03/12/2011. DD, MM and YY. So 2011, okay. Normally It's not. It is UK format. We'll follow 03/12/2011.
Okay, that's fine.
Generally, whenever we are communicating anything to the clients and all, no? So generally we'll maintain like this.
No, in the sense in UK, I know they follow JDMM, but in US they follow MMJDMM. So both are possible, right? 12 March and 5 December.
No. This is the date. Actually, the slide which I used is the previous slide. I changed the content, but I forgot to change the date.
Okay.
DDMMYY. Okay. So this is about the what we are where we are about the content management. The server part is clear. I'll open the server and even the network portal content. So we can I can show you how the server, what I'm going to cover and all the stuff. So let me talk briefly about the syllabus content. So then we can go back to the server. I'll show the server and all. So materials management, generally, if the students are new who doesn't know anything about the materials management, even previous batch we have 2 students, they don't know the process. They are purely a technical consultants, SAP consultants. Okay. So generally, I'll try to give a small overview about the material management process, probably in 1 or 2 sessions. Okay. So which covers the total procurement cycle and master data management, and even sometimes I'll discuss when regular classes are in progress. So I'll cover that MRP part also, how the MRP will be linked with the procurement, and how that will be integrated with SRM functionality and all. Generally, when I'm taking the self-service procurement part of the SRM, I'll cover MRP. So generally, I'll briefly explain about what is the procurement process in and what are the master data in and what is the importance of the master data in materials management procurement process, and also how the inventory management works, and finally the invoicing part. So it gives some overview about the material management, so that I can refer those points when we discuss the actual SRM core content. Okay. So that is why normally I'll start with the materials management. Based on this batch, whoever the students, for you and I think Surya and Nina to touch this part. If you guys comes up with some kind of specific area where you want to know, then we can. Otherwise, we need not to discuss the part, and straight away we can start the SRM contents. Okay. So I just because of this demo last time I prepared. Even I don't have a demo plan. All of a sudden yesterday somebody called me and asked me for the demo. Then I thought of contents. I'm showing the actual. You guys are interested in basically the server part, where you want to see the server and all. So just I managed the content part, what I'm going to cover and all. Okay.
Yeah, Rohan, just one thing.
Yeah.
See, more than looking at the SAP SRM server, my personal interest basically is to understand more of the SRM logic or the SRM functionality, and how it integrates basically, let's say, with planning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me tell you, Ashutosh. See, definitely server is a part, just because I want to. I don't know if you guys want to see whether the server is. But the thing is, actual syllabus is that what you are saying is how actually the planning part will be integrated with SRM. How far SRM system is able to handle the planning, or it is able to manage the procurement, or what are the procurement process we are handling in materials management, how SRM can handle, okay, and what are the dependencies of backend system for the SRM without a ERP SAP system, whether we can handle only with SRM or not, okay, and if we are able to handle, what are the scenarios, because SAP has developed a product SRM, then they have given some kind of implementation scenarios, like classic scenario which was introduced in the first version 3.0 or before even 2.0 version of SRM. Okay, then followed by 4.0, they have come up with an extended classic scenario where it has got an exclusive features, okay, for the procurement process to handle the procurement process smoothly with web content directly from the SRM. So what are the contents in the extended classic, and what are the contents in classic, and which kind of businesses or which kind of organizations can prefer the classic and extended classic, and what is the standalone scenario, and what is the decoupled scenario. Okay, so there are live examples, and I can give you more information when we actually go for the training process. So this is what are the deployment scenarios available for SRM.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, that when we cover these scenarios as such implementation scenarios like standalone, classic, decoupled, I would like to spend some time on discussing these scenarios.
Yeah.
And then looking at the documents which we try to create in SRM server based on these scenarios. Like you were referring to a document flow as getting back updated in the SAP SRM in case if you are creating something in ECC or creating an SRM and then updating ECC back and forth, that type of communication happening.
Yeah, this is all what you are talking, you know, based on your documentation configuration part, what document needs to be created in the MM and all. This is based on your integration scenario. Okay, so the deployment scenario will influence and the configuration part will influence what document needs to be created, how we can influence the part. So for example, if you are buying some product from a catalog, so then straight away when the shopping cart, whatever you are creating a shopping cart, we can call it as in ECC functionality MM, we can say it as a purchase requisition. Okay, so once you create a shopping cart by taking some product from the catalog which is readily available, so automatically your shopping cart will have all the information, source of supply and contract or maybe cost assignment and everything. Then it goes for an approval process. Then once the approval is over, the purchase order will be generated and sent to the vendors based on your settings. In case if you are buying a non-catalog based item, like a small kind of described requirement, okay, which is a free text order, when you are placing a free text order, then the end user may not have an idea about the buyer vendor information. Then it has to go to the procurement team to fill the vendor or maybe to fill a source of supply like a contract or any source list, anything. So then on what basis system will identify where it should go, whether it should create a purchase order or it should create a a sourcing cockpit where it has to go to the sourcing cockpit and bias team involve the further process of the sourcing cockpit. Like, or if they don't have source at all, then how a bid can be generated or a that is called a RFX process. Okay, request for anything, either quotation, request for proposal, request for information, anything. So how that can be created. So this is all a core content of the SRM, which is depending on your implementation scenario, your configuration. There are so many factors. Okay.
So do we plan to cover something from the catalog also?
Yes, catalog is completely, you know, see nowadays SAP SRM 7.1 has come up with a new catalogs called SRM MDM catalogs. Okay. Now SAP is no more supporting any other previous components like CCM, catalog content management and all. Okay. If you are going with an upgrade like from 5.5 to 7.0, still SAP will support you for the CCM part, but they will not give any new solutions or any new developments in the catalog content management. So you have to solely depend on the MDM management, materials master data management. Again, in master data management, you have an option of, you can, if a big organization, if it is a big organization, where I worked in one organization which is a big organization like British Petroleum, you can implement a master data management as a unique system to maintain your customer data, your vendor data or your contracts and all the stuff to manage the catalogs. So otherwise, if you are going with an SRM 7 a unique pack, then SAP is giving an option of, you know, taking an MDM, an individual component. Sorry, it is an integrated component with SRM 7. So SAP is selling freely that product. Okay, so that you can use that MDM catalogs to integrate your your procurement process in a simplified manner. So we are going to touch the complete MDM part. If you see my content, okay, the third content is SRM MDM catalog content management, where I'm going to discuss about various GUI clients for the console, data manager. These are the components of an MDM. Remember, console, data manager, and import manager are the components. And there is one more thing called syndicator, but which is not required for us. Also, how this MDM server will be integrated with our SRM system. That will talk about MDM SRM UI settings. Okay, and then MDM initial load, how data can will load into the SRM MDM system through SRM or maybe ECC system. Some data you may need to pull from ECC, some data may need to pull from SRM. So how these things can be done, and I'm going to cover all this part, which is already completed up to first, second, third part. Up to here I have completed for the current batch, and I'm going to discuss these two last two things in the coming sessions. Okay?
So in this case, you are saying that MDM is on a different server, right?
Yeah, MDM is a separate server, and MDM is a altogether a separate thing. But still, if you are going with an SRM, then SRM 7.0, you should know, you should have a basic idea about what is MDM and how it works and all the stuff.
Sure.
Okay.
And this is SAP MDM?
Yeah, SAP MDM.
Okay. No, because in some places, if you see, they have a different, they can have a Informatica and all that stuff, right, for their MDM part.
Sorry, this is SAP MDM, SAP MDM.
Okay.
Okay. And see, you can have an external components like Ariba and all the stuff, but that is not part of SAP. Organizations can outsource their catalog content management with external tools, okay, like Ariba, CC Hub catalogs and all. So only the integration will come into the picture. That integration is like, you know, they have a user interface component that directly compatible with SRM system and their third-party system. There we need to know anything. Only thing is SRM MDM is our core content, which is SAP product. So we need to understand that what is happening in SRM MDM part. And when you are going for an SAP SRM certification also, the syllabus is completely covers like SRM 210 materials, which will talk more about the configuration part, and process knowledge, process oriented material. SAP SRM, there is one material, okay, which will talk about the process. And also you have in SRM MDM catalogs. There is one more material, SRM MDM. So your associate level certification will involve these three contents.
So are you also going to provide the training material?
Yeah, we will provide you the material, the three materials, whatever I'm talking, I can provide. We'll share those materials, which is a recent version of SAP training materials. Okay. And we will give you the each and every topic in the 210 material. Okay, we'll explain. So that includes the process as well as the configuration part. Okay, so it will take around totally 35 hours of classes. Okay, so I will try to take minimum 1.5 hour a session. Probably I will take 3 sessions in a week maximum. So like that every week we will cover roughly around 4.5 to 5 hours, maybe 4 to 4.5 hours you can assume. Then like that it will take total 30 to 35 hours classes, 32 to 35. So current batch it is around 34 classes, 34 hours. You know, it is going to finish by tomorrow. So I assume it will be less than 35 up to maximum 35 hours based on the discussions and questions you comes up and all the stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so let me talk briefly about the contents again. See, material management I have told you, whether it is required and all we'll see based on the students and all their interest. Then coming to the SRM course, so basically I'll give an overview about the SRM evaluation process and what actually, why the SRM is required for the procurement and what are the benefits. Okay, and after that how an SRM organization structure works. Okay, like how we have materials management organization structure. Most of you people are aware, both of you. So it is like company, plant, and storage location, all this stuff. But as an organization structure for the SRM is slightly different. Okay, so how SRM organization, we need to build an organization structure in the system. It is not like configuration or creation ECC. ECC will create the plant and assigning to the company code and all the stuff. But here it is slightly different. We need to create all the stuff. There will be a structure, and structure needs to be created. You will have organization units, and organization units should be linked with backend relevant unit. For example, you are saying the purchasing organization in SRM, that needs to be linked with the backend relevant purchasing organization ECC, because system should understand what purchasing organization in MM. So core system will be again MM, right? So SRM has got an integration with MM completely. So, and also organization structure creation and amendments and all the stuff I'll cover. And going to master data. So again, master data is like, there are two ways when you are using any SAP system in the background for the procurement process like materials management. We need to create the master data in the back end only. You can create in the front end, but you know, you should always be in sync with back end. So any organization, if they're going with any implementation scenario other than standalone, that is what local scenario, so they will create the master data in the backend system ECC, and that can be, master data can be replicated to SRM. Okay, there is a replication process how the master data like material master and products like product group and vendors, all the stuff how we can, I mean plants and company codes and all the stuff how we have to get that data into SRM. So that talks about the master data management. Okay.
So when you refer to product group, you meant material group from back.
Yeah, that is what material groups in the back end will call it as a product categories in SRM.
Product category, right? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And then SRM process, the technical or business scenarios what we are discussing about the deployment process. Okay. So then we'll cover the deployment process, and actually my session will start with deployment only. Then we'll go with see, this is not the sequence. Just I am showing you the contents. Sequence will follow in a different way. Exactly, I'll follow the SRM 210 material flow roughly. Sometimes 1 or 2 chapters I may drag it to end or maybe prepone like that. But generally we'll follow the way we need to follow actually to understand and dependency of the sequence.
But before jumping into the deployment scenarios, would it be good if you can cover something about the SAP SRM architecture, in the sense means
that is the first part, Ashutosh. Okay, that is the first session I'm going to cover. Okay. System architecture, I'll cover the first component. You should understand what is SRM and how the whole system architecture, because there should be a backend system MM, and how these two will be integrated. What is the dependency on MM? Okay. Why can't you use only SRM and then take the other part like NetWeaver? I'm saying, what is the NetWeaver? Okay, where that lies in the whole system architecture, I'll take the one reference diagram, which is SAP provided diagram, and we'll explain the architecture completely. Then only SRM deployment scenarios will come into the picture after the architecture discussion is over. Okay, and SRM deployment scenario is the first part, which is specifically about starting the syllabus content in SRM. But architecture is the main thing that I'll cover in the first session only. Okay. So then coming to see again, even the workflow is also not the main thing. Workflow will come into the later stage, workflow, and then see, workflow will be I will take up it as a single individual topic. Why? Because workflow, like whenever you're creating a shopping cart or any purchase order or any contract or any invoice or confirmations, you can set up your workflow for approval process. So I will take a auto approval process for generally for in the test server, whatever we are using that ID server. But how a workflow can be influenced, to activate it to get approval process, and what is the application control workflow and what is the process control workflow which has come up in the SRM 7. So we are going to discuss especially more on process control workflows. That is the new part. Okay. So that completely I'll go through the configuration. There is configuration steps, how we can do a workflow setup, all the stuff. There is a configuration. So it will take around 2 classes. That's I remember for the current batch I took 2 classes. So we'll cover complete workflow part. And then going back to business scenarios. So we will talk about the self-service procurement. Basically this is the main, after the deployment scenarios are over, we'll discuss about the self-service procurement. Okay. So first is the architecture, and the second one is the deployment scenarios, and then the third one is the actual business scenarios like self-service procurement. And self-service procurement will include the complete shopping cart process, confirmations and invoice. And as I discussed, there is a process called sourcing cockpit, that is the buyers team activity. And the sourcing will include RFX and live auction. Live auction only I can explain you the process and I can show some kind of slides, but not a live system, because live auction nowhere you will find, even organizations also, unless they implement, there is a PA integration is required for that. There is a so unless you have some real-time scenario. Just a moment. Okay. So
when you were working with British Petroleum,
yeah,
I'm not sure what was the scope of the implementation. There was no live auction process there, because generally
so it is, see, don't go into the individual implementation projects and all. Okay, that was one of my project. I worked for around so far I worked in 6 projects. Okay, so live auction is nowhere we have implemented so far, and live auction is because I am not only involved in the implementation of the projects or maybe the application supports, but I also got exposure in giving demos to the customer and all the stuff, because SRM 7 is a new component. I don't know, US is volatile market. People will start as soon as the product comes into the picture, but now UK is starting implementing SRM 7. Okay, they already done some implementations of big clients, especially BP and some kind of clients like TNT and National Grid, some clients. But still some people are they are in we are in the process of completing the various stages of the initial level of the project, like giving quick wins information and what are the differences with the previous version, and giving confidence to the client before going with SRM 7. It will be a huge investment for the organizations, right? So
you are also involved in pre-sales?
Yeah, it's not pre-sales, because pre-sales team will be a different, as a functional guy who is having SRM 7 knowledge. Okay, so once the pre-sales team meets the customers and they will do all the negotiation and all the stuff, then we'll go into the picture and we'll explain what are the actual kind of giving a demo or the live system. Okay, and giving kind of overview and highlights of the current version and all the stuff, because we know the previous version and previous current version, and we can give a better way of explanation what are the features and all the stuff. Okay, because in
prototyping.
Yeah, sorry.
Then you also work on prototyping
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And also, see, so don't worry about the live action. Live action is a small part of the complete SRM functionality. Okay, very, very minor part. If you're talking about 100, that may be one of the 100. Okay, and we mainly the RFX process is the common process which most of the organization will use. That is a bidding process, so that we can show in the live system how the bidding works and all the stuff. And going back to sourcing and then procurement process, the purchase order and the confirmations. Confirmations can be managed from either local, if you are having a backend system and when you are using SRM, based on your implementation scenario, we'll follow the confirmations either from SRM or ECC. And then going with the invoice management. Invoice management, you can do the invoice management whole for even for the SRM. For example, based on your scenario, some organizations will go for stock procurement directly from materials management system, and for the non-stock procurement and all the stuff from the SRM. Okay, even in that case also we can do the invoicing process from SRM for all the documents which are only created in the materials management. So it is altogether, it will support for end-to-end invoice management SRM. So that is also that will cover that part. And then once that is over, then more concentrating thing is plan-driven procurement. Plan-driven procurement, where your planning will come into the picture. You asked me some interesting questions like how the planning will happen in SRM and all this stuff, right? So when you are integrated with a plant maintenance module, or maybe if you want to take some kind of complete MRP will takes place in the materials management system, and if you want to divert those orders, planning orders, or maybe purchase equations into SRM for the process. So what is the background of that actually? Why you need to know what is the advantage in taking that planning process, purchase equations into SRM and all the stuff we'll discuss, and how it can be managed. There is a kind of configuration and also kind of table level entries and all the stuff is there. So finally your purchase equation will create a shopping cart directly in SRM system, and then procurement process, whatever you define in SRM, that will be followed. So we cover the plan.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interject. So if I understood correctly, let's say in this case you were saying that the planning is happening in ECC. What I meant basically was planning is happening, let's say in APO, where the requisitions are getting generated.
Yes.
So it comes back into SAP SRM, right? And then you said that it will generate a shopping cart.
Yes, quality management also. From the quality management, QM systems are the plant management, as you said, APO, any external requirement, that we'll call it as an external procurement process. Okay, so that you can integrate the external system with SRM. So that generates a shopping cart in ECC SRM system, and followed by the approvals and all, as it is how we are running in the SRM for the general procurement. I mean non-stock procurement.
No, why I was asking is because I thought that a shopping cart in SAP in SRM basically creates a rec in ECC. I didn't know that it happens the other way also, that a rec basically in ECC or APO will still create a shopping cart in SAP SRM.
That is what the plan-driven procurement. What you said is the other way around. Whatever is happening, right? That is what the plan-driven procurement (PDP) scenario. Okay. So that has got some limitations that I'm going to discuss, okay, and you need to have some kind of deployment scenario where it will work and something. There are some limitations, but you know that is possible. That is possible, and how we can manage and all I'll tell you. Because when you're running on a classic scenario, the classic scenario means your purchase leading system, procurement leading system is a. I don't want to discuss more deep. Okay, ECC. Then there is no concept called plan-driven procurement because your ECC. There is shopping cart is getting creating a purchase requisitions in the ECC system. Then there is no point in bringing that purchase equation into SRM, right? So there is a limitation. You have to have an extended or a decoupled scenario to go for a PDP procurement.
Okay.
So I'll tell you what is the dependency, why we need to go in the PDP extended classic scenario, why can't we use in the classic scenario. And all this stuff. What are the benefits of choosing an extended classic scenario? Okay, and which organizations more focus on the extended classic scenario? All the stuff we'll cover in that when we discuss about the plan-driven procurement and deployment scenarios. Okay. Going to supplier self-service. Supplier self-service is again it is an separate component that supplier SUS. Here I have to mention SUS portal. Okay. So it gives a good kind of leverage for the vendor or the business partner to maintain a close relation, as well as we can do so many things over the online. Okay, instead of doing a manual activity. Vendor, when you send a purchase order, when the vendor delivers your item, so you can send the item delivery notifications to you directly through over the online, and that will update your system that it is delivered. And also you can do a confirmations directly. A vendor can do a confirmation, so that will followed by a requisitioner's approval. Whoever is requested for that material, he can approve, then automatically generate. So it avoids a lot of delay. Okay, and also you can implement this as an MMSUS or maybe SRM-SUS. Okay, we are going to discuss SRM-SUS part, and there are kind of again SUS has got limitations, SAP standard limitations. What are those limitations, and to overcome what is the SAP has provided the solutions. And also I'm going to cover, there is SRM-SUS material. There is a material for SAP standard training material. So I'll share that material. Also it is divided into 3 parts of configuration. One is SRM-SUS and second one is MMSUS. So I'm going to touch SRM-SUS configuration. Again, SRM-SUS will have a configuration between the XI and SRM and XI and SUS. So XI configuration part can be handled by an XI guy or PI guy, okay, PI consultant. But still, what are the configuration steps in the SRM system, and what are the configuration steps in the SUS system, and all the stuff I'm going to cover in our training sessions. Okay, so SUS is also part of our syllabus. I'm going to supplier self registration, which is a part of SUS. Okay, and going to analytics. Analytics is an additional component. Like earlier version, you don't have a much report flexibility in the previous versions of SAP. Now analytics has provided an extended features where system will show kind of reports and all directly from, you can access from the MDM system, SAP system, SRM system. But basically for some features you will need BI integration. So I just give you an overview about the analytics part and standard reports which are available in SRM, but not the BI integration part. Okay. So, and basically our core area is about talking about the main scenarios of self-service procurement and plan-driven procurement. Okay, and operational procurement is nothing but of a contract management. Actually, I think it's not covered here. There is one thing called operational procurement, that is the contract management. Okay, so SRM 7 has got some unique features of the contract management. Like earlier, we have a different contracts for the ECC system and SRM system, but now we have a concept called the central contract management which has come up. It will take 1 to 2 sessions for to cover that part. So that also I'm going to cover. Okay.
So are you talking about contract life cycle management or?
No. There is SRM itself can handle a contract process. Okay. Contract life cycle is an altogether separate one, but you have an option of plan-driven procurement where you can SRM can handle complete procurement contracts. So when you are creating a shopping cart, when you're creating a shopping cart, when you're creating a purchase order, if you want to assign some source of supply, or you have done some bidding, okay, finally you have identified some vendor. So you can create a contract in the SRM, so that contract can be utilized as a source of supply in SRM as well as in ECC.
But okay. What I thought was that a contract can be created probably in ECC and then through ALE it can come to SAP SRM.
That is if you are already using MM as a core system. If you want to use that, that can be. But nowadays, when you are going with an Action Classic scenario, people are creating. See, Action Classic scenario is more focused on SRM. Okay. So all your procurement will be driven through SRM.
Okay.
No buyer will be interactive with ECC. Buyer will interact with SRM. He will create the request for proposal or request for quotation from the SRM, and vendors will respond and bidding will happen. Or RF, as I said, live auction can happen, and finally you will identify the source of supply vendor. So there is no concept of what you're saying, that quotation process and quotation maintenance and finally acceptance or reject and all can be handled through SRM only. Okay. Then once you identify a vendor, then the contract will be created directly in your SRM system. That contract can be replicated back to ECC as a source of supply. You can maintain in your source list.
Correct.
Okay, so it is other way around what I am talking. But if you are using already using an MM materials management system, if you want to take some contract and which is already created in ECC, even that can be replicated into SRM.
So for extended classic, as you said, that the contract can be created in SRM, then
directly.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Then you said that through probably RFC or something, it will go and get created even in ECC back and also generate a source list. So why is the source list then needed in ECC when we are doing everything here in SAP?
Yeah, I told you, right? I told you. That's what I'm saying. Even extended classic scenario, most of the organizations for the MRP process, material requirement planning, okay, but especially for the stock management, where you will do inventory management in ECC only. There is no inventory management concept in SRM.
Correct.
Okay, so when you are maintaining the stock in SRM, ECC, then whenever the stock levels comes down, your MRP will trigger and it creates the purchase requisitions and all the stuff. So planning process can be handled in SRM, ECC, and also the stock procurement. If you have set up everything, you can do most of the organizations will follow the stock procurement process from SRM only, sorry, ECC only, not in SRM. Okay. Even still you have an option of going with the stock procurement from SRM, but some organizations will follow the SRM is not limiting you to not to do the stock procurement from SRM. You can do, but organizations, because the planning system is MRM, it is very easy for organizations to automate the complete planning cycle, MRP run and then purchase requisitions and purchase order creation directly from MM itself, especially for the stock procurement. Okay, so in that case, for you want to assign a auto source of supply, to create a auto purchase orders, so we need to have a source list or maybe info records maintained for the purchase requisitions. That can be taken care of the contents which are created in the SRM system. And then what purpose of MM? MM can handle complete non-stock procurement. Even the stock procurement, you can create the reservations directly from SRM. That reservation will be create your MB21 reservations in the ECC through the interface. So all that stuff, even you can create a stock material procurement directly from SRM TCC, but organizations will follow sometimes the procurement cycle from the MM, especially for the stock procurement. Ashutosh?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, this is one of the real-time scenario how organizations work, because you may be I think, did you work anywhere where SRM is also in picture?
No.
Did you come across any such situation?
No, I haven't worked on the SRM side. That's why.
No, not system actually. What I'm saying is the environment. Even though you worked in MM, if in any environment you work in SRM, which is already in place, so then you might have observed this kind of process. So generally, organizations MRP will be taken care by the system. So for stock procurement, generally they will use what is that MM system as a core system. So when we go into the individual areas, right? So we can discuss much about that. Okay, and that's all. Then procurement process, plan-driven procurement, and contract management, and all the stuff. So I want to quickly show you the client for a few minutes. So I have a class today. So at afternoon 3 o'clock for my time. So So I want to quickly close this demo. So if anything, now we can have some other session or some discussion other day. Okay. So I will show you the clients quickly. Basically, SRM configuration part is there are two things. One is the technical configuration and SRM specific configuration. Technical configuration is moreover covering the areas of integration part of MM and SRM. So we need to do some kind of settings so that to establish the connectivity between SRM and EC system. So that includes
Govardhan, I just had one more question. So the user ID which you are entering here, correct? Is this a dialog user or a service user?
It is dialog user.
It's a dialog user, because for SUS, like what type of a user has to be created?
Service user.
Then it has to be a service user, right?
Okay. So this is all SRM configuration part. Okay. We will have configuration for the technical stuff. That is, technical basic settings. We'll talk about connectivity between the SRM and EC system, backend any ERP systems. Okay. And cross application basis settings is a part where we will know about the complete SRM relevant configuration. Okay. And here we'll have, what is that? There are some new functionality has come up in SRM 7 Powell queries. There are some good features, so that will configuration part and all. And also somewhere we'll have the workflows as well. Somewhere here, business workflows. See, business workflows where we need to do kind of configuration. So this is the whole technology application control. Now the new technology is the process control workflows. So we are going to cover the relevant configurations and all the stuff. Okay. So then, especially in the initial class itself, we will discuss something called not initial, the organization structure part. Okay. So there is like, it will not, you can see the organization straight away here in SRM. Unlike,
will you also be talking anything with reference to the HR integration, because all these positions and other things?
Actually, see, there are two things. Organizations can take the HR integration, or you can do the organization structure directly in the SRM. So normally I will talk about how an organization structure can be created. So how HR can be integrated and all. There are kind of reports, kind of connectivity settings. So even SAP has given some notes and all. See, if you understand the functionality and link up between the backend system and this one, how a organization structure can be created and how to link the things, what are the various attributes. Okay. So if you understand about that, then it will be easy for you to, if any organization is following with HR integration, that integration part can be, take through some SAP note and you can do on yourself. But basically you need to understand what is the organization structure, how it play a role in your procurement process, and how to create the organization structure and how to maintain the organization structure is the more important. So where I will focus much.
Okay.
Okay. If you want any HR stuff, now I can provide you some documents how you can copy the data and all. I can provide you. And also we have some good books actually. SAP standard books which we got the soft copy. Some of the old student has shared, and that SAP Solutions will provide you that books. There are two books, valuable books actually, which SAP Press released. So even you can go through those books, it will give you a very good clarity about the complete process of SRM and all the integration configuration part. Okay. Other than the materials, and SAP Solutions will provide you some notebooks as well. I mean that SAP release press books. They are very valuable books actually. Okay. And coming to network portal, I think I didn't see these days network portal whether I. So whatever you are seeing in the backend system, SRM system will be accessed through the network portal. Earlier we used to use the internet transaction server, and now SRM 7 has mandated that should go with the network portal to get all the web input screens. User 7. is this? Sorry, what happened? I don't know.
You are getting some message down here, right?
No, error message. It is not the problem with that. User authentication failed.
Okay.
I think. Did you see any of my sessions, even previous sessions? I don't know. You got only the one. It seems like the webinar part. I think I should have other sessions where I have shown some videos where I think I can show you.
Yeah, maybe if you can send one of those recordings where we see this, that will be great. Because in the recording which was sent.
No, I can show even as if I will identify one because there are many. So how the portal screen looks and all. I've taken some videos actually. There might be some or other artifacts. Videos, noise creation, confirmation.
So how does SRM work with the tax calculation?
Yeah, tax calculation, either you can depend on your backend system or the front-end system. See, this is the portal, okay, how it looks. Okay, and actually main screen of the portal I'm not able to show. I have to log in, I don't know. See, normally it should be the same password for the both. Maybe if they created as a dialog user, now you have to have an individual password for portal and this one. So maybe whatever, because they recently we are not using this portal. Why? Because I have completed the portal part. Okay. So we are using completely the MDM part now. So I didn't log in from last 1 week. I don't remember. Today also, I don't know if it will work because I'm able to access the GUI. It is working, but I think password it will take time. So this is how the screens look. Okay, front end screens. But you will have a menu at the top. So you can, based on your roles, you can control the menu and access the relevant procurement documents like purchase order or maybe a RFX or maybe a contract, anything. You will, based on your roles, you will get an authorization so that you can create or modify or maybe display documents. Okay, so probably that is one thing. And going to one second, just a moment. Just a moment. Just a moment. Hello? 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 Yeah, so this is the server part. Server is working fine now. So this is all we have covered actually in previous sessions. So even some areas, if any one of the application is not functioning or any fault in the server also, so I can manage by bringing some external system recorded videos or something. I won't be able to show you our own system. I can't show that. But still I can see this is the one of the video where RFX has got some issue when the time when I explained to the students. So I captured this screen, these videos from some external system and I covered that part. So like that I can provide you the help from the external system. So there's no need to worry about especially server part. Okay. So going back to MDM also, I'll just quickly show you.
Yeah, Gautam, I just had one more question I said. For the requisitions which get generated from the shop in ECC, from the shopping cart, which from SRM,
Okay.
what is the source it shows basically on ECC side for that rec? The source in the sense means what is the creation indicator?
Document number you can define in a different way. Okay, when you're creating a shopping, so other way around you're asking PDP scenario or from SRM to ECC?
No, from SRM to ECC, when a rec gets generated in ECC, correct?
Okay.
So what is it? You remember there is a creation indicator in requisition?
See, I creation indicates. See, basically, when you are getting some external document into your MM system, you will define a separate number range for that. Okay.
Yeah,
so the document type will be different. You can name it as SRM purchase requisitions, or even for purchase orders also we'll define a document number as SRM purchase orders. Okay.
But I can still have the same document type, right? Both for ECC as well as for SAP SRM, one having an external number.
No. You cannot see. For that number range, you will define as an external number range in MM. Okay.
Correct.
So what will happen is when you create the document in the SRM system, SRM system. So for that, it will automatically, when it transfers, right? So that will take the number range which is created in the SRM system. So you are saying something creation indicator, what it looks, because the classic scenario, I don't really recollect what the creation indicator called.
I can show you if you log on to the backend.
Really ECC, I have the access, but I don't remember the user. See, I have, hurry. I was thought of, completing in half an hour.
That's okay. No, that's fine.
We can go into the more deep discussion. It's not an issue. So what indicates? See, it is again more of subject, what it will indicate and all. But there is kind of configuration and all we need to do between both the systems in SRM and ECC. Okay. So that in order to take the document same as it is into the SRM.
I'm not worried about the document number range and all that. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, we can discuss in deep, okay, but now the time is very limited. Sorry for that, okay. I don't have much time. So I want to show this SRM server roughly. So like, this is one of the SRM MDM server.
Okay.
Where I remember the password is SAP. This MDM server is actually, it was developed by someone else. I don't know who is. It's not actually initially an SAP tool. I think in 2006 SAP has bought this completely, that SAP MDM tool into under SAP product. So now they are developing in MDM also, like similar to SAP modules. So completely SAP is taking over this MDM tool. Okay. So like MDM is like we will maintain the data like this. If you see, there are kind of tables and the fields. Okay, these are all the fields. The particular catalog items is the table. In this table, you have got some kind of catalog items. You can see each catalog, and the catalog in the catalog there is an item. For example, this is the item, procurement item. This procurement item will have some kind of information. See, these are the fields, supplier name and all the relevant stuff, and also product category and material, what is the required things. See, when you are adding some item into your shopping cart, it should contain all the information, contract information, supplier information, and like plant, company code, and all this stuff, whatever the required things, unit of measure, currency, all the stuff. So we will maintain everything in the MDM system, and this material or item can be 5 minutes. 5 minutes. In మధ్యలో ఉన్నాను ఒక్క నిమిషం 5 minutes. Okay, sorry. Okay, so like this is the MDM server. This server will be linked with our SRM system so that the users can access the SRM server through user interface. Like I showed you that portal, right? The portal like an user interface from where users can interact with the system MDM server, and then that will be access of whatever item you want. You can take this item and that will be loaded into the shopping cart. So for that there is an integration again. Okay, integration is there is a component delivered by SAP, that is user interface, where we need to do the settings to integrate the MDM system with our SRM system, so that system can understand, take the fields into the respective fields of SRM. So that is how it works. But MDM, it is one of the data manager I am showing you, but we have like this, we have another 3 tools like console, data manager, import manager, and syndicator. So it is the data manager. So we have another 3 tools. So we need to discuss each and every. So it takes 1 hour session for individual tool discussion, because you need to understand what is this tool, how to manage this, how to change the data, how to load the data. So finally, then only that configuration part with SRM will work. So we need to have a complete session. So I'm taking 5 sessions on MDM part completely. 5 sessions is roughly around 7 hours session, completely 7 hours total. This is what I'm going to cover. Okay, this is an overview about the complete scenario as well as the system availability and all. If any specific questions, Ashutosh or Surya, you can drop me an email. Okay, and SAP Solutions will provide you my email details, so I can provide you if any more information you want.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
It's fine. I have another class in another 30 minutes. I want to discontinue at this point of time. So further we can meet soon whenever it's decided.
Yeah, no problem. But thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We appreciate all your time for this overview.
Give me the time to explain all the stuff, but really,
that was good.
No,
that was good.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye bye.
Thanks, Surya.
The organizer